What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this The Schaurige Haus review, recap, breakdown, and ending explained. This was a movie that was actually pretty surprising to me, and to be honest, European Netflix titles have been some of the most unique titles on the streaming platform in the last few years, with Dark, Equinox, Curon, and many others. And while this movie didn't exactly live up to its spooky setup, and it didn't really hit what I was hoping it would and scratch that itch of these other titles, I did really enjoy it. Now, Sabine and her two sons, Eddie and Hendrik, move from Germany to a small town in Austria as their mother has a brand new job. They've moved into a house which is pretty awful and has no internet and is heavily run down. And while Eddie loves it, city boy Hendrik hates it. And there's an infestation of snails, which the man who shows them around, Mr. Rockel, says it's hard to get rid of them. However, those of you who have watched a lot of occult stuff, you know that salt circles keep out the spooks and ghouls. However, the problems arose when the salt circle up to the loft was broken when the boys were investigating, and at night something gets out and we see Eddie become possessed, and he's drawing symbols on the wall in Hendrik's room. Now, Eddie continues to get possessed throughout the movie and even visits the spooky graveyard outside where they learned of the people who were previously in the home. Now, Hendrik learns from Fritz, a local nerd, that the family who owned the house before, the Pottelmans, met a tragic end. The mother ended up murdering her children with mushrooms and then ended up killing herself in a tragic murder-suicide. Now, one of the children is actually possessing Eddie, and the other would later take over Hendrik in the movie, and has been released due to the salt circle being broken. Now, luckily, our boy Hendrik catches Eddie sleepwalking and writing on the walls and gets to videotape it. I say videotape, I'm so old, it's on his phone. And he can't understand what he's saying, but him and Fritz get a girl named Ida to translate the Slovenian language. It says that Mama is innocent, which, based on the end of the movie, makes a whole lot of sense. Luckily, they would later find a diary with a film reel. We see the previous family and their home movies with context given by the diary. It turns out the family hated it there, much like the boy, or at least just Hendrik there. They didn't feel welcome or anything like that. And it turns out the father was clearly having an affair with the housekeeper as he gives her a necklace. There's one complication, as they presume it is the neighbour who worked there, as they did know that she did work on the house. And, well, they try to find out more from her, but she was the one who quit before the murders took place. Now, the Mr. Pockel in the meantime he's given poison to Hendrik, except he wakes up after visions of the family prior and is worried that it's been spread in the house and runs down terrified. But the kids finally try to get to the bottom of what happened, but Hendrik becomes possessed by the other kid, Ralph, and says how he wants revenge for the true killer. After, of course, Fritz uses his soul circle of crisps, which was hilarious. And I really do love when I go onto mainland Europe and there are those huge, massive bags of crisps. It has to be done when you go on holiday to Spain or somewhere and you keep them in your hotel. I digress. But he wants revenge for the true killer. Now, interestingly, after this, they do realise that there was indeed a second housekeeper. However, Hendrik finds someone at the graveyard while the party is going on and manages to find the housekeeper, but it turns out to be the woman who was actually Mr. Pockel's mother. Now, it's interesting that he is the child of the previous family's father and the second housekeeper. She meant to actually kill the wife as the father wouldn't leave the family, but he would provide support. Is he a good guy or a bad guy there? But she ended up killing the children too, as they weren't meant to be home, and all is revealed after a chase there. And I'd imagine that the son did know some sort of this, and perhaps I'd like to think that he knew about the ghosts and tried to keep the salt circles there, and he even gave the poisoning, hoping in that this family would die as well and keep the secrets. Now, the Potsdams are finally at peace and the curse is lifted as Mr. Pock and his mother are taken away. The case was then reopened and changed, as originally the story was the mother killed them, but the record was set straight. Now, did I enjoy it? I did like the sort of Stranger Things vibe and mystery, while sadly the kid stuff in the village, and quite a lot of it, was largely superfluous. The Hendrik, Ida and Fritz friendship was really, really fun, and I would love to see more of them going around and solving crimes and mysteries and things like that. Now, Fritz did make me laugh, especially as he is somewhat of a ladies' man, and while I watched it in English with English subtitles due to some hearing issues I have, the subtitles didn't really match with a lot of what they were saying, and it was a bit off-putting. It was one of the weakest of the subtitles there, and I feel the mystery could have been played out just a bit longer, as I feel like the first half of the movie drags on and we get little to no information there. I would have liked to learn more about that relationship, and the mother was very much like, yeah, I did it, I feel bad, that was it. And the chase in the woods in the caves really dragged on a bit in my eyes. But I'd love to hear what you think down below. Just a short video here for you. So please do drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Please do subscribe with notifications on to never miss a video. And I'll see you soon, and goodbye.